My name is Radile Mokone. My family and I are from the dusty streets of Sharpeville. Like many people around the Vaal region, I had family members who were murdered in the Sharpeville massacre of 21 March 1960, where 69 unarmed people were gunned down and more than 400 severely injured. Those deaths and injuries were huge blows to my family, the Sharpeville community, and South African society. Every day I still consider the profound act of sacrifice that so many ordinary citizens like my grandfather and grandmother have gone through to create the foundation of our very young and troublesome democracy. During the early 90s, when I was an 8-year-old boy, I witnessed my aunt gunned down by a drunken policeman who worked for the apartheid government. I was laughed off at the witness stands of the courts when I gave testimony to this event. My family has still not received justice. The policeman is alive, but he cannot speak after his botched attempt at suicide. Every day I have to learn to forgive. I must forgive the apartheid police, the ignorant minority who are unreceptive to the daily battles of their fellow human beings, the corporate giants who are complicit with the apartheid system, the courts who laughed at my testimony, Afrikaans universities, thieves, rapists, murderers, and corrupt politicians. My family and I have paid with blood in the soil, emotional trauma, structural poverty, but we are fighting tooth and nail to survive and contribute to the dreams and ambitions of our young democracy. Millions of African families across the continent and the diaspora have gone through similar or worse experiences. Last year, I had to fight a court case for an artist friend of mine who was wrongfully arrested and detained, then wrongfully sent to a mental institution. I won the court case without ever going to law school. My friend is free and in the process of receiving compensation for this injustice caused by a couple of lazy policemen who didn't want to do an investigation. Winning this court case was really an outstanding moment of my life. I feel like it would be a remarkable achievement for any person's life. Who wouldn't want a friend who can save you from being wrongfully convicted? That's obvious. We all want to be that person who is assisted. But I flipped this question over and asked, who would want to be the friend who saved someone from being wrongfully convicted? Who would take on the sacrifice? Who would stay the course? So I began to try to uncover the reasons why I did it. It's because I witnessed the injustice and I just couldn't accept it. It's because I experienced the worst service delivery and I just couldn't accept it. It's because I can read and write in English, one of the major languages of our courts. How many innocent people who cannot read or write in English go to jail or mental institutions because of bad service delivery? The most important reason why I did it is because I believe in my education, South Africa's constitution, and I believe in South Africa's vision for 2030 outlined in the National Development Plan. I live in the township. I interact with disenfranchised black youth every day, and I know their frustrations. I know how easily their thoughts and circumstances can lead them into a negative direction. I decided to share these founding documents in a format that they can understand, that they can find attractive, that can slowly sink into their subconscious and into their everyday being and eventually into a positive form of active citizenry. So I collaborated with some local music producers, designers, artists from around the Vaal to turn a 430-page policy document into something inspirational. We wanted people to realize that they could be their own heroes and heroines, and that they could also make a contribution toward a better South Africa. Most of all, I wanted them to realize that being someone special is not the exclusive right of the Nelson Mandelas, the Thomas Sankaras, the Samora Machels, or the Steve Bikos, but that being a great human being is a choice that even they can make. We need them to understand that human progress is the story of one step followed by another. Some steps small and personal, some big and audacious. We thrive on both. Courage and tenacity turn our impossibles on their heads. Curiosity and wonder propel us forward. We are at our creative best when we take on our most daunting challenges. Solutions to our biggest problems will come from the most monstrous or inspiring dreams, hopes, and goals that we set for ourselves. We, the people of South Africa, have journeyed far since the long lines of our first democratic election on 27 April 1994, when we elected a government for us all. We began to tell a new story then. We have lived and renewed that story along the way. Now in 2030, we live in a country which we have remade. We have created a home where everybody feels free yet bounded to others, where everyone embraces their full potential. We are proud to be a community that cares. We have received the mixed legacy of inequalities and opportunity and in where we have lived, but we have agreed to change our narrative of conquest, oppression, resistance, and victory. We began to tell a new story of life in a developing democracy. We began to share freedom and the uncertainties of living with it and in it. We felt our way towards a new sense of ourselves, trying, succeeding, and making mistakes, proclaiming successes and closing our minds to failure, feeling orientated and disorientated through our own actions, affirming some realities and denying others, proclaiming openness to the world yet courting insularity, eager to live together yet finding it difficult to recognize shared burdens, learning to recognize and acknowledge shared successes. Our new story is open-ended with temporary destinations only for new paths to open up once more. It is a story of unfolding learning. Even when we flounder, we remain hopeful. In this story, we always arrive and depart. We have come some way. We know what we do and how we do it is as important as what we want to achieve. What we are is because of who we have been and what we want to become. We will continue to make it to make us because we are happy with being who we are. Who are we? We are Africans. We are an African country. We are part of our multinational region. We are an essential part of our continent. Being Africans, we are acutely aware of the wider world, deeply implicated in our past and present. That wider world carries some of our inheritance. We have learned a great deal from our complex past, adding continuously to our experience of being African. Therefore, in 2030, we experience daily how we participate fully in efforts to liberate ourselves from conditions that hinder the flowering of our talents. We feel loved, respected, and cared for at home, in community, and the public institutions we have created. We feel understood. We feel needed. We feel trustful. We feel trusted. We feel accommodative. We feel accommodated. We feel informed. We feel healthy. We feel safe. We feel resourceful and inventive. We learn together. We talk to each other. We share our work. We play. We worship. We ponder and laugh. We are energized by sharing our resourcefulness. We are resilient. We are working together on this. Let's move the country forward.